the most dangerous fighter you've never heard of, Asadula Imangazaliev. Have you ever witnessed a fighter so dangerous, so relentless, that the word crazy doesn't even begin to cover it? Meet Asadula Imangazaliev, a name echoing in underground fight circuits, whispered in fear and awe. In this video, we dive deep into the lightning-fast strikes, brutal mindset, and jaw-dropping fights of one of the most unpredictable warriors you've never heard of. And you'll see footage and stories that'll leave you saying, "Holy hell, this guy is insane." Stick around, because we've got some unbelievable moments lined up. Let's start with his origins, before we move into the fights, controversies, and why he terrifies opponents. Asadula Imangazaliev was born in Dagestan. Growing up in a harsh environment taught him early about survival. Stories say he got into street fights before he even hit his teens. Harsh winters, scarce resources, and tough neighborhoods molded him. Legend tells that Asadula got into amateur wrestling and boxing in his late teens. He was scrappy, not the most technically polished, but ferocious. He competed in regional circuits, where local promoters noticed his willingness to fight dirty, his iron chin, and his refusal to back down. The crazy fighter label. One pivotal fight changed everything. In a local tournament, his opponent knocked him down early, but instead of folding, Imangazaliev got up, charged through damage, and knocked out that opponent in the final round, despite heavy bleeding. That performance earned him the crazy tag: fearless, reckless, and merciless. And by the way, there's one particular fight later that looks like a car crash in slow motion. You'll want to see that. Fighting style and signature moves. What sets him apart is how erratic he is. He mixes orthodox and southpaw stances, switches mid-fight, and often throws unorthodox strikes, spinning elbows, overhand bombs, and even headbutts when the ref doesn't see. You never know what's coming next. Despite his wild style, he hits like a freight train. Many fighters absorb a single solid shot and crack, but not Asadula. That toughness gives him room to gamble with riskier techniques. Signature all-in bursts. His favorite tactic is to wait, bait, and then explode in a flurry. In one fight, he sat back for almost 2 rounds, looked fatigued, then unleashed 10 strikes in 5 seconds. Instantly changing momentum. That burst style makes him dangerous, even late in fights. Before fights, he uses body language, stares, and even trash talk to drive opponents off balance. Some say he psychs them out more than he beats them fizz. Fight A, the knockdown comeback. In this bout, Asadula was dropped badly in round 1. The opponent smelled blood and pressed hard. But Imangazaliev wobbled, retreated, regained composure, and launched a spinning back kick that snapped the head off his opponent in round 3. The arena went silent, then erupted. Fight B. Fight B, the head clash, TKO. This one is controversial. A clash of heads in round 2, both men bleeding. Some said it was accidental, others claimed Imangazaliev intentionally baited it. The ref stopped it, and Asadula got the victory. Critics cried foul, fans cheered the madness.
Early here, Imangazaliev, the spinning high again.
Fight C, the wild brawl. This fight is often shared in highlight reels. From the opening bell, both fighters swung like they were in a bar fight, no feeling out. Wild hooks, clinch scrambles, knees. And in the middle of round 2, Asadula landed a brutal overhand that cracked the opponent, then finished him with ground strikes. The pace was so frantic spectators were gasping. If you think that's nuts, wait till you see the next one. Fight, the last-second barrage. Trailing on the scorecards in round 3, Imangazaliev looked tired, beaten. But in the last 30 seconds, he unleashed a sudden storm, Punches, elbows, a takedown, ground and pound. 5 seconds before the bell, the ref stepped in. It's one of the greatest comebacks you'll see. Fight.
As the moments go by, he just went in a big storm, and again, picking up.
Fight E, the disqualification drama. In another fight, he was disqualified after headbutting a dazed opponent following a wild exchange. The crowd was divided. Some booed "dirty fighter," others shouted "respect the warrior." It added to his reputation, chaotic and unpredictable. Dirty tactics allegations, critics often accuse him of resorting to fouls, knees to the groin, headbutts, low blows. Sometimes the referee misses, and Asadula doesn't hesitate. He thrives in the gray zones. Ref and promoter feuds. Many promoters hesitate to book him. Many refs complain. Some say he's too dangerous. Others call him a ratings magnet. The fights he's in always deliver. Street fighter connections. There are rumors he still takes underground fights under aliases. These are speculative, but add mystique. A fighter who exists both in organized cages and in unsanctioned rings. Polarizing among fans. Hardcore fight fans admire his guts. Purists bristle at his lack of discipline. That divide is part of what keeps attention on him. People want to see whether he'll evolve or implode, fearless or reckless. Some believe he's fearless, that he's calculated risk. Others say he's reckless, fighting with too little regard for his own safety. The truth is probably in between. He knows what he's doing, but pushes limits harder than most. Inner demons and drive rumors say he fights to channel anger, trauma, or survival instincts. He's said in interviews, if any are accessible, that losing is worse than being hurt. To him, blood is a cost he's willing to pay. What he's chasing: fame, respect, redemption? For him, winning is about making a statement. I exist. I dominate. Every fight is a battle for identity, not just a win on paper. If he owns technique, defense, timing, footwork, his raw power plus unpredictability could make him championship material. But that requires discipline, which is his biggest hurdle. Risk of burnout or injury. Fighting at that edge often leads to injuries, concussions, or decline. Could his crazy style shorten his career? Many predict yes. Marketability and brand controversial fighters draw viewers. If packaged right, documentaries, media, interviews, he could become a cult legend with crossover appeal beyond fight fans. Legacy scenario. Two paths. Either a wild legend remembered as a berserker with highlights, or a fallen warrior whose brilliance was eclipsed by self-destruction. Coming up next, we'll break down the single craziest moment in Asadula's fight history, and that alone is worth sticking around for. The single craziest moment. In a match labeled No Mercy, Asadula faced a dangerous striker with leg kicks and precision. The fight started slick, technical, nothing like his usual wild style. But then, about 90 seconds into round 2, the opponent connected with a hard leg kick. Asadula winced, staggered. The crowd thought this fight might turn. But then Imangazaliev launched a spinning back fist that clipped the ear. Immediately, 2 overhands to the jaw, then a takedown under pressure, transition to mount, and 1 brutal elbow to the temple. The ref stepped in mid-strike. Why? It's insane. The precision, the tempo change, the composure in chaos. That's what people call artistry within madness. Many watching said it looked like he turned into a totally different fighter in one heartbeat. If you watch that moment closely, you'll see his eyes change from reactive to predator. That's the moment that defines crazy fighters. Not just the wild swings, but the brutal clarity in chaos. So, what do we make of Asadula Imangazaliev? A raw, unpredictable force, a fighter hovering between genius and danger. His style is chaotic, yet dangerous. His fights are spectacles. His controversies fuel his legend. We explored his background, his mental makeup, his signature techniques, and his most insane moments. We saw the fights where he came back from disaster, fought dirty, and shocked everyone. We peered into what he might become, a legend or a cautionary tale. If you've ever wondered what it would look like if a fighter threw away the playbook and lived only in the moment, Asadula is that case study. If you want to see more deep dives like this, breakdowns of legends, fringe fighters, and highlight reels you won't believe, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and remember, true fighters are more than what you see.